Hello, friends. Today in the practice library, I bring to you a prayer. I find it's a moment that many of us want to speak with a higher power, want to have a moment with the boss. um, I don't have a strong background in religion or anything like that. And I don't have a formal view of what God or divinity is beyond the unity that we all come from and that we all return to. So I invite you to choose your own version of God, your own version of the Great Spirit, so we can talk with her for a little bit. I have a big, beautiful window here, and the sun is coming through it. So I'm going to face the sun for this practice. He will symbolize God, light shining on everybody. As far as gods go, is a good representation. And our ancestors did that for thousands of years. So I'll face the sun. Make yourselves comfortable. I will do the practice as a practice with 4 sections. We are going to do a little practice, okay? But if you're in a different setting, you might not need a yoga mat or a meditation cushion for this, as long as you can look inside a little bit. Just feel calm and comfortable. Let's practice. Sometimes trying to feel God feels a little bit like this last part of the bowl resonating. You have to tune in so you don't lose the frequency. Be very present. Alert, but without tensing up. Open. Soft. I don't have formal training in praying except my own intuition about how I want to carry the conversation with God. I will begin first act by emptying. Shavasana. I'll start with Shavasana. It is not unlikely that if you feel motivated to seek prayer, you might be suffering or in pain. There are moments of prayer when we just want to say thanks and just look up and say, wow, how do you bless me with so much? Thank you. There are, for those who practice prayer regularly, many other reasons to communicate with God. For all those moments I usually don't express it formally, I carry it as a silent conversation of appreciation and listening to guidance. And there are moments where we seek the divine because we are squeezed. We feel lack of resources or lack of self-confidence. We feel fear in one way or another, or heartbreak. As I would reach for a friend, I don't want to vomit my shit on anyone, least of them God. So I take this savasana to emptying the major resistance, to drop stories of drama, to present in front of the divine a very human being, a very faulty human being. A very naked human being. Very fragile. So in this laying down position, we can pass our attention through all these areas of fragility. And before we ask God to loosen up the knot, we try ourselves. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck. Relax your jaws and your face. A lot of the mental tension and confusion that sometimes we feel lately, saturation of information, making million micro decisions, lack of silence, all these clogs the upper centers, builds up tension behind the forehead, inside the mouth, in the jaws, lifts our shoulders, tightens our chest in the area of the collarbones, and upper spine and neck feel compressed. So take a little time now to dissolve some of this compression and allow it to become bigger in volume, softer. Layers of physiology overlap under and on top layers of accumulated emotion. New and ancient. Fresh and chronic. Removed from the storyline, feel that, how it feels. And if there is a way in which I can soften, I don't find a better word, soften, instead of pushing the pain or the tension away, to sit by it, knock on the door, maybe take a step inside of it, refrain from fixing it, and simply soften. The next major area of tension is going to be our hips, our lower back, our pelvis, genitals, reproductive system, small intestine, all these sections, all this biological connection to life and death, and eating and shitting and making love and making babies, responsible for stability but also the birth of walk. Bombarded by centuries of shame and in many ways of attack to human prosperity and safety. And at the same time, that's life, yeah? Always fragile. So we go through our hips. We relax our buttocks. We feel the reverberation of the breath in the lower abdomen. Maybe we slow down the breathing and we move the waves consciously a little further south to play with the alternation of pressure, to play with the alternation of textures, and with the rhythmical movement of the breath, once again, to soften the area, to allow for a little exhale to our lumbar spine. And to spend time in our center, to transfer a little bit of the sense of identity that is so thick and dense behind the forehead and bring it down where it belongs, to the hara. We do a run through the arms and the legs. If you think of a system of roads or channels, yeah, this could be the periphery. But if the periphery doesn't exhaust properly, if the part of the river that lands in the ocean is clogged, then there will be flooding before. So through the palms of the hands, through the soles of the feet, through the subtle joints, wrists and ankles, we begin to switch the lights of each joint of the extremities into green. We switch on the knees into green light, energy passing. We switch on the elbows, energy passing. And we did relax our shoulders and we did relax our hips, but we didn't do it simultaneously. So now is a good opportunity to have both legs, both arms, both hips, both shoulders, neck and face, and feel the whole body vibrating, relaxing. Attention resting on the inner field. Feeling pain maybe, feeling beauty maybe, feeling love maybe, feeling loss or confusion or excitement, feeling a bunch of things. But we just make it okay. We just make feeling okay, not a problem. We don't react to it, we let it pass. We let it leave. Which brings us to the center. The movement of the breath undulating the solar plexus, the movement of the breath softly hugging the heart, letting it go, hugging the heart, letting it go. Softly moving the organs, the intestines, on longer breath waves, we pay attention also to the way it transforms the volume of our torso, expanding us to the sides, moving a little pressure towards the kidneys and the back. And pacifying the central meridian. This meaning not the absence of uncomfortable emotion, but a full acceptance that what I'm feeling is okay to be felt. And also to realize that if I am feeling, those feelings cannot be the I. Those physical sensations in the I cannot be the I. They are allowed to exist, they are allowed to live, they are appreciated, suffered maybe sometimes, included, forgiven, but they're not me. I rest with the observer for a little longer. A naked observer, a naked presence in the eyes of God. After your body is fully relaxed and your mind is at ease, let's move on to the second act, the second chapter, and let's have a conversation with God. We always want to speak, so I will speak first. I believe that all relationships are fundamentally a relationship of friendship, so this is the way I try to speak with the divine as if we were friends. I have a couple of rules. I don't ask pain on my enemies. If I ask for direct gifts, I ask them for others. And when it comes to myself, if asking is required, I ask for the qualities that might lead me to the results that I wish. Might ask for clarity of mind, might ask for courage, might ask to be a bit more honest, less self-involved. I say thanks in the darkest of my days. I always feel so grateful. And as an allowance to the child in me, the fragile child in me, I do ask for a little ease, for peace, to deliver me to whatever it is that is my destiny. With a little ease. Please deliver me there safely. Please be merciful with all of us. Please help us find peace with each other. And within our hearts. And like in any good conversation, you should probably listen first, yeah? But even if it is second, it's time to listen. I prostrate at the feet of God with my utmost humility. And my sentiment in this moment is how many people have been in this posture through history. How many people have felt pain, desperation, panic, and have come to their knees and pray because they saw no light. Don't I kneel here with billions of souls simultaneously? Are we all not together in this prayer? I feel humility in the form of compression. I try to translate it into a physical feeling. Invite my ankles to allow themselves to extend, my knees to compress a little more, my lower back to sink and release, my forehead to press harder on the hands or on the floor. I visualize my humility as the capacity to compress endlessly, to be like a pillow that an elephant just sat on and become ever thin, ever small, without needing to disappear. To be able to remain in the fragility, to be able to suffer, to be able to withstand, and to not build anger, resentment, hatred, ego, because of the fact that I might be suffering. And once again, at the end here, I let myself be drenched in gratitude. It's an interesting fact that one feels it at both ends. When life is wondrous, when life is amazing, stunning, but also in these small, compressed moments when you feel like a tiny ant, somehow they both inspire enormous gratitude. I let it all come in through my crown chakra. Not to be mystical, but the sun is coming from that direction, so it was actually making my head warm. The third act is my commitment to take care of the gift. I will symbolize this with a sitting practice. whatever it is, the intervention that God does in your favor, whatever it is, the guidance that she delivers you, the synchronicities, the coincidences, the little hand with your health, or with your relationships, or with your bank account. I cannot waive responsibility. I came to this life to live it. So, like in the Michelangelo painting, Adam needs to extend the finger to touch the finger of God. We need to bring something to the table for this prayer to become reality. We can bring our loving awareness, our presence, our courage. We can bring our gifts, our knowledge, our enthusiasm, our ability to work hard. We can bring our forgiveness. We can always bring the other cheek. But we have to bring something. We must bring ourselves for this prayer to come to reality. You may be walking, you may be resting, you might be gardening or driving. In this case, I'm sitting. But beyond the practical task that you have in hands, let's just be. Be present, but in a way that's already been a little too much. Let's just be with this moment. With the breath, with the feelings in the body. In sitting position, the straightness of your back, same as in walking, not so much in driving a car, but walking, sitting, standing, the engagement of your back muscles, this subtle engagement to maintain an elegant vertical. Is a great symbol for commitment and resilience. It's not an easy aspect of the sitting practice. Adjust your cushion very realistically, usually higher than we think. But in the long run, it is empowering. In the long run, it feels like a good investment. Besides presence, resilience, and a determination to be without needing the moment to be better than it actually is, allowing the moment to be what it is. Another beautiful gift of the sitting practice is to have a moment to feel the dignity of being human. When we suffer, we feel broken or ugly, or both. When we suffer because of others, we feel them initially as well, as if they're ugly or broken or both. But the original sin is a very deep belief in many of us. Fundamental belief that the human is basically a piece of shit that every day has to fight against her deep instincts to not hurt oneself and others. What if we were more than that? What if, without realizing, we have been incentivized to look away from our dignity? What if all the problems and all the pain is distracting me from how beautiful we can be? What if inside each one of us there is literally a treasure, there is literally a Buddha? A small child, that thing you see when you look into a baby's eyes. It seems to me that there is much more to that than simply original sin. At this point, you might choose to go a little deeper in the way you modulate your attention. You can let it expand until there is no clear boundary between the moment and you. The experience of this, of now, this is it, all of it. But it can be so that the mind feels a little restless with so much space. So you can also rearrange your attention by resting it on a point or an area. Maybe on the movement of your breath in your belly. Maybe on your heart. And in a way we render time inexistent. My body will call me out of sitting, maybe my responsibilities. At certain point, the clock will remind me that in the world of matter, time is very real. But in sitting practice, we are not just in the world of matter. We are sitting quiet, surrounded by God, illuminated by God, breathing with God. Feeling at times fleeting glimpses at first that I might be part of God. A humble cell in the infinite body of the divine. I'll sneak in here my favorite prayer. I've shared it with you before. Please help me see the beauty in me so I can see the beauty in everything. Please help me see the beauty in myself so I can see the beauty in everything and everyone else. And yet we have one more chapter, one final chapter. Opening to receive. Easier said than done. I symbolize this with a heart opener, bolster. I started with the legs open here, probably later. I think I stretched them out. I didn't want to change the cushion that I have under the head, but I thought it was a little much. I'm just saying this if you are modeling your position, the one you see in the screen can slightly be improved. But the idea is to open the heart center, to open the front of the body, to open the shoulders, to open ourselves entirely to the possibility that my prayer can be listened, that God listens, that we are in communication, and therefore, in one way or another, her will, her response will come to me. And not only I want to be present when that happens, but I also want to feel worth it. And not always we do feel that way. It's surprising how little we like ourselves. Yeah, a very general truth actually. So let's try to softly allow the human to open up to beauty, to open up to welcome, to open up to love, to health, to abundance, to creativity, to the muse, to animals, to nature. To open up to all the resources, to all the abundance, to all the beautiful things and people that already are here with me. And to return to a beginner's mind that tells me that I have no idea what comes next. I have no idea which methods will God choose to respond to my prayer. I open up in a way to be innocent once again. With my inhalations, I feel my body physically expanding. I connect with this feeling of getting in, receiving. The exhale makes me very honest with life. Whatever I receive, I have to give it back. But that doesn't take away from the pleasure of receiving. So in my body, I visualize now my desires, my aspirations. I do a little bit of daydreaming and I allow myself to live that reality. I allow myself to imagine a path of ease. Will be in pain, there is no doubt about it. But let's not forget that will also be in beauty. Let's not forget that we are in beauty right now. In a life, in a planet, in a universe, that is nothing short of a miracle. And you're nothing short of a miracle. Believe in yourself. Okay, that was my shared prayer in 4 acts. Use it when you need it. Focus on whatever you need to focus. And whenever you need to switch my voice off, just do that. Talk to God everywhere. She really is everywhere. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Thank you. May all beings be happy.